Another year is about to end, and this one was definitely the most eventful year in tech for me. I started my first full-time job as a software developer, and throughout the year there were so many events that affected the way I work, whether it was the release of new GPT models or a new JavaScript framework. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about some of the most important lessons I learned as a software developer in 2023. On number 1, we have AI models are tools, not magical fairies. Would you look at that? We're starting with AI because if there's anything that shipped faster than the new JavaScript frameworks this year, it was probably AI models. I started this year being extremely excited about the potential use cases of ChatGPT in my daily life, but I soon reached a point where I was extremely disappointed with those models. For the longest time, it felt like ChatGPT was pretty much useless, because I was expecting it to help me write good code, documentation, blogs or whatever, but the responses were pretty mid. Soon, I realized that I'm making a big mistake by treating these models as magical fairies instead of a productivity tool. Let me explain. I, just like most of the people who will be watching this video, had never spent enough time actually learning how to use ChatGPT. And yes, you heard it right. If you think ChatGPT is a tool, then you gotta start treating it as one. You don't just jump right into Illustrator or Photoshop and start editing a photo and expect it to look good, no. You first spend some time and learn how to use the tool, and only then with experience you get better at editing those photos. Similarly, if you want to get better results from those AI models like ChatGPT, you first need to learn how to write better prompts and how to curate better workflows to support your task every single day. For example, now when I try to learn a new language or a framework, say GraphQL, I won't just go to ChatGPT and ask it to tell me what GraphQL is. Instead, I'll take some time and curate a better prompt that looks something like this. Hey ChatGPT, I hope you're doing well. I want to learn GraphQL. I already am familiar with other forms of databases like Postgres and MongoDB, and I also know how to use Node.js and Express. So can you help me understand all the concepts in GraphQL by comparing them with the things that I already know? And please give code examples for everything. Thank you. And when I do that, the response is much more useful, and not just that, now I can continue learning more about other GraphQL related stuff, and it'll help me understand by making comparison from the things that I already know. This is one of my personal favorite tricks that I use when I have to learn something new. And you already know that tech industry is very fast moving, so you cannot afford weeks learning a new framework because it might be outdated till then. Anyways, the point is that you need to spend some time and learn basics of prompt engineering and use that information to write better prompts and structure better workflows. And when you'll do all of this, it is going to help you increase your productivity by 3 to 5 times. I definitely have gotten better at using these AI tools, and as a result, I'm able to do a lot of things every day, like write blogs, make videos, work on side projects, all of that while having a full-time job. The second thing that I learned this year is that a good software developer is also a good designer. Now, I remember the days when being a good software developer meant you know how to do front-end and back-end development. Then somewhere along the lines, DevOps was added to that list. And then AI/ML got added at some point, but now as we're entering 2024, I am adding something else to it, design. Yes, I think this was one of the most underlooked aspect of software development for a really long time. However, now that the software market is almost saturated with hundreds of applications to do the same task, it inevitably becomes more important to learn design. Here's the thing, chances of you creating next TikTok or Snapchat are now less than ever. So in this situation, whatever you're going to be creating will be solving a problem that is being solved by a lot of other apps and softwares. Thus, if you want your product to stand out, you need to think about the user and put the user and not the tech at the core of your product. And this is the job of a designer. Therefore, if you want to be a really good software developer, you have to learn how to be a good designer too. Well, the third lesson that I learned this year is that Nexj is really good. Yes, this point might be a little controversial for some people, but I am very bullish on Nexj and its community. With the addition of things like React Server components, API routing, and component streaming, I believe that it's going to be really important full stack development framework in the upcoming years, and everyone would be using Nexj in their projects. In fact, I've already shifted most of my projects to Nexj. The point is, you should definitely be on the lookout for this new JavaScript framework, and I know that I keep talking about the instability of these new JS frameworks, but this one is here to stay. The fourth thing that I learned this year is to ask myself why AI. Now, I'm sure it's not just me, but everyone has seen the overuse of word artificial intelligence in every single new product this year. This has gotten to a point where people are using AI to do things that absolutely do not require it. All of this is happening because people are not asking a really important question to themselves, which is why AI? before trying to solve a problem with it. I mean, sure, AI can be useful to solve a lot of problems, but can we not solve those problems without using AI? This is something that you should keep in mind when working on your projects for resume or whatever. Just saying that you have used AI in your project is not going to make it any better. If anything, it'll raise more questions on why did you choose to use AI, because AI is extremely expensive and it's occasionally stupid too. So don't get on the I'm using AI in my app hype train while building your projects. That ain't gonna get you anywhere. Alright, that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about in my final video of the year. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good time and I'll see you next year. Happy 2024.